Assalamu alaikum, Islam, Shabbat Shalom, Shalom, OCO, peace. So, um, I'm gonna present to you guys. Really, the topic is about these great resets that they cause on purpose. But before I do that, I want to go into one of their phony holidays that they had everybody running around celebrating and shit. So, what does it say? It says, 4th of July's ugly truth. Blow it up a little bit more so we can see it. Here we go. It says, the 4th of July's ugly truth exposed. The Declaration of Independence is sexist, racist, and prejudiced. Right? Then it goes to say how we can embrace the underlying spirit of the Declaration of Independence and also learn from its shortcomings. Shortcomings. Okay. Shortcomings. Yeah, all right. Let's see. So this page, I ain't really looking. See, they paint academia. They are so slick where if you don't have the right, if you're not on the right frequency and you still kind of sleep, you can't read between lines, right? You can't get the meat out and spit the bones. You can't chew the meat up and spit the bones out. I'm gonna make this a little bigger just so we can see it. All right. So it says, it is painful to write about the shortcomings of the Declaration of Independence. Your 4th of July, right? The historic document was officially approved by the Second Continental Congress in Philadelphia on July 4th, 1776. A mere 2 years after the Lee Resolution formally declared the American colonies to be independent of the British Empire, because the American colonists ultimately prevailed in their revolution against King George III. Hmm? Oh, yeah. So, who was King George? I've been saying his name a lot, right? King George, right? King George, King George, right? We'll get to it. Wait a minute. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna wait a minute. The document has been immortalized as one of the opening salvos in the ongoing fight for human freedom that continues to this very day. Doom Diversus 1452. it has never stopped. It's even thicker now. So I'm gonna let y'all do the homework on that. If y'all really care about learning anything, sometimes you gotta do some work on your own, right? So look up what Doom Diversus was, 1452, right? without the seminal text, every social justice movement that has followed would never have come to pass. Yet, despite its overcomingly positive impact on history, what overwhelmingly positive impact. Yet, despite its overwhelming positive impact on history, the Declaration of Independence was also a product of its time. Now, I kind of agree with that to a certain degree because we don't know how people thought back then. We don't know, man. It was about sustaining yourself and pretty much staying alive at least. It's about staying alive at least. Um, so we really have no fathom of how people thought back then. See, because right now, all we worried about is Gucci, Lucci, Tucci, Nucci, all this other dumbass shit. How many pairs of tennis shoes can I get? You know, you know, it's bad, man, what they did to us here in America. They socially engineered us so bad that we was more concerned about tennis shoes, excuse me, than we did land, than buying property, than starting businesses. Yeah. So, this book I'm reading, right? My wife just came in, left out. That's why I was pausing for a minute like that. So don't start tripping. Yeah. So we thought way different back then than how we think now. Right now, I'm kind of halfway finished reading the rest of White Cargo, and one of the chapters talk about how Caucasian slavery used to be like the cocaine trade of today. I was like, what? They said what? I know they ain't just say what I think they just said. Yup, that's what they said in the book. I said that shit was like the cocaine trade of today, and they were selling cocaine and fucking opium back then too. Man, make it miss up. Mm-hmm. And opium and cocaine been flying around, man, since thousands of years, Doug. They just try to erase that shit so we don't know about it because That shit is some nasty shit. Especially opium. Opium is nasty, boy. I'm telling you, that shit nasty. This shit would destroy a generation. Huh. Yeah, man, that's some nasty shit, boy. That's another thing we haven't tackled yet. I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna go off topic a little bit, but every time I look on TV, it's always a documentary about uh uh the big dope dealer, the big, the girl that sold the most dope in the city, and all this glorifying drug dealing and all this. Bro, use your brain, man. Use your brain for once. Is it really all about things that you can buy? Or so you can wear a pair of tennis so some girl can like you? Man, if the girl can't like you because your simple conversation, just being around you, absorbing who you are, not by the tennis shoes that you're fucking wearing, duh. Excuse my language. Generate, man, educational purposes only. I apologize, YouTube. Goodness gracious, you gotta watch how you talk on YouTube, man. But I've been learning my laws, so I don't think they want to play with me. I've been dealing with kids, with real nagas, So yeah, I've been doing a lot of learning law because it's time. Because you know, when the police pull you over, you gotta know what to do, what to say. Yeah, you gotta know what to do and what to say. But let me go back, man. We were so socially engineered to think that it was cooler to own 50 pair of tennis shoes living in your grandmother's basement. What? Bro. But, we only went by what we saw. You know what I mean? We saw my Adidas. And, that's what we saw. You know what I'm saying? So everybody wanted Adidas shell heads. Either open or with the New York strings in them. We were socially engineered to think certain things. And anything outside of that box, people deem you as being off. So let me finish. What was that? Okay, so it says I'm starting here. So it says because the American colonists ultimately prevailed in their revolution against King George III. King George III. Oh no, I was down here, but let's read this again though. The document has been immortalized as one of the opening salvos in the ongoing fight for human freedom that continues to this very day. Without this seminal text, every social justice has movement that has followed would never have come to pass. Yet, despite its overwhelming positive impact on history, despite the Declaration of Independence was also a product of its time. So I was talking about, back then, man, you don't know how people was thinking, man. Just to eat, you don't know how people was thinking. We can't even put ourselves on that frame of thinking, man, because it was a total way of living. Back then, you was good if you had one pair of boots. You didn't care if you had 30 pair of Jordans that support all the prisons in Chicago. Y'all, did y'all know that? All right, yeah. Well, I don't wear Jordan. I don't buy Jordan. Shit. Okay, I don't buy that. I don't buy that. So, cause yeah, understand that he is into private prison, getting kickbacks, from the stock market, um, to incarcerate his own damn people because they're the only people going through Chicago prisons. All the little young gangsters. Yeah, y'all run into his shoes, but his shoes, you spend money on his shoes. He takes the money and invests it in the prisons that lock you up. Straight up, that lock you up. Now, okay, okay, product of its time, and bears some of the shortcomings of its era, including sexism, racism, prejudice against the who? Native Americans. No, the Aboriginals. No, the Moors. No, because this is something else. This is the Guala Guala. This ain't us. This is not us. I'm talking about the real Aboriginals, the real Moors, the real Tachtons, the real Indigenous, okay? The real Aboriginals, right? What's the first definition? What's the first thing you gotta have to be considered somebody that's a native or an Aboriginal or an a Moor or an Autochton? The first thing you have to have is melanin. That's the first thing you gotta have. And all you pink people that think y'all sprung from the land and y'all connected with Kukulkan and Quetzalcoatl and No Doug, y'all not. Stop it. Stop it. Y'all wannabes. Right. So here is a look at the events leading up to the creation of the document, as well as involved in its actual signing, which one must inspect for a more rounded look at this period in history. In other words, a whole bunch of bullshit. Now I can go. Let me go back here first. Now this guy here, King George, right? King George. Now, so let's just Google. Let's just Google real quick, right? Let's Google American. Remember they said he was American, right? They're trying to say he was the last king of America. Okay, American King George. Hope I get it. Okay, crazy. See, I'm shadow banned, brother. So yeah, here we go. We're gonna start acting stupid. Here we go. Here we go. So when I start recording, they start playing with my computer. So they don't let me go in. Come on, man. Come on, man. Look, it won't load. Man, get out of here. It won't load. It won't load. Mm-hmm. Let me see something real quick. Wait a minute. Work with me, y'all. Work with me, y'all. See, it say I'm on. See, look. Look right here. They say that everything is on. They say everything should be working, right? Say everything should be good. Nigga, my Wi-Fi, I'm good. So why am I having a hard time with pulling my stuff up? Try it again. I think I spelled it right. Yeah, King Mary King. Come on. While I'm on live, they're gonna do this. I'm getting ready to just say the hell with it and come back to it. I'm gonna 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 come back to it. So I'm reading this also. Now I'm reading this. Treaties between the United States and the American Indians. Interesting. What year was that? Oh, it's a copy. Boy, Division. So what was it originally written? Originally written. Sorry. When was it originally written? Oh, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was written then. But academia play a lot of games, man. They make us think stuff that ain't really what it really is. Dates might be off. It be about a bunch of wild stuff going on. But check this out too, though. I wanted to show y'all two different things. What? Oh man. So let's read this. Wait a minute. Let's read one of these treaties, right? So let's say Article 1, that all offenses or acts of hostilities be one or either of the contracting parties against the other be mutually forgiven and buried in the depths of oblivion, never more to be had in remembrance. Article 2, that a perpetual peace and friendship. Now we know that they broke these treaties, so all these treaties were broken, right? It says, shall forth and hence take place and subsist between the contracting parties aforesaid through all succeeding generations. And if either the parties are engaged in a just and necessary war with any other nation or nations, see nations. Remember I was telling y'all on Facebook earlier. What's the order today? Nationality. You gotta tie yourself to a nation. Thanks to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, we understand this, right? That each shall assist the other in due proportion to their abilities, till their enemies are brought to reasonable terms of accommodation, and that if either of them shall discover any hostile designs forming against other, they shall give the earliest notice thereof, that timeliest measures may be taken to prevent their ill effect. And trip, man. And whereas the United States are engaged in a just and necessary war in defense and support of life, liberty, and independence against the King of England and his inheritance, and as said king is yet possessed of several posts and forts on the lakes and other places, the deduction of which is of great importance to peace and security of the contracting parties, and as the most uh, practicable way for the troops of the United States to come, excuse me, of the posts and forts is by passing through the country of the Delaware Nation. Of the Delaware Nation. Of the Delaware Nation. Hmm. Of the Delaware Nation. Alright, so I'm reading something else. Now, this is a book I just read. Okay. I just ran, excuse me, I just ran across this book. So it says, The Delawares, Forgotten Folk. The story of the Moors and Nanticotes. The Delaware Moors. The Delaware Moors. Alright, where did I see that at? Wait a minute. The Delaware Moors. Where I saw that. You know what? I'm just gonna type it. Alright, so let's go ancient. Because we're gonna go ancient. We ain't gonna play no games with them, right? Because we already know that the Europeans reclassified themselves as the Indian. So we ain't gonna play no games with them. We're gonna go all the way ancient, right? So the ancient Delaware Moors of India Superior, oh my goodness, Tartaria, and more empire in America. Oh, what? Let's go back to wait a minute, let's just back up, back. Ancient Delaware nation Moors. Okay, so let's see what we get. Hope we get something. Damn, hope we get something. Come on, stop, man. it's popping up. But then it's not giving it to me. They play too many games, man. Here I am live, and he won't let me get my. Won't even come in. Let me come back, man. They messing my presentation all up, man. Cause they just playing games and they hope y'all get frustrated and y'all run. They hope that. They really hope that. So it is what it is. But I'm gonna get it out. Get it out. Y'all saw that though, the way it was popping up right there. All right, that's the book that we reading now. Right. And then we got this other book here. Right. Delaware's Forgotten Folk. The story of the Moors and the Nanticoke. That's ancient for me. But I want to go some more. Nanticoke Moors of Delaware. The Nanticoke Moors of Delaware. See? Now y'all with this not understanding Moors. Delaware Forgotten Folk. The story of the Moors and Nanticotes. Understand, man, there was a lot of different tribes here, bro. But we all were Moors. And what is a Moor? Somebody with, excuse me, pretty much like high frequency uh uh melanated people that practice love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That's all it really means. People try to go other places. They be retarded, man. I want to see something else real quick. What is going on? They won't let me get nothing. Because they know what I'm doing. So all right, I'm ready to go back. I'm ready. Let me just go to my let me go to my short enough presentation because they playing games. All right, so excuse me. I'm checking out this article, right? I know about the resets. I know about all the resets. There was a couple of them. So let's talk about this one now that's going on now. So it says, what is the Great Reset? Right? By this guy, Michael Rectenwood. This for educational purposes only. Fair use. So don't get to tripping. I don't make money off of my page. You know what I mean? It would be nice to get some donations, but y'all mess up my page so much I can't even get no. You know what I mean? I can't even get through a decent presentation because YouTube or whoever it is keep playing games, and every time I try to look something, they be shutting me off in the middle of lives and all kind of stuff. So, okay, let's go here. The following is adapted from a talk delivered at Hillsdale College on November the 7th, 2021, during a Center for Constructive Alternative Conferences on the Great Reset. Is the Great Reset a conspiracy theory? Look, everything that they want you to think, this is bullshit. This is so you can be, oh, you just a conspiracy theorist. No, no, you're not. You're not. That's just something to throw you off. Imagining a vast left wing plot to establish a totalitarian one world government. Sound like Tartarian almost, right? No, despite the fact that some people may have spun conspiracy theories based on it for some reason, as we will see. The Great Reset is real. Hmm. All right. So, all right. I just somebody just came in my office, asked me a question in the middle of it. They be knowing I'm doing. Everybody want me when I'm working. Everybody want to talk to me. Everybody want. They know I'm working, but door open every 2 minutes. But this is my people. It's all good. So, indeed, just last year, Klaus Schwab, founder of the executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, WEF, a famous organizer, made up the world's political, economic, and cultural elites that meets annually in Davos. Peace, brother. See you came in. Thank you. So do y'all know who the Davos is? Who the Davos clique talking about the reset, right? Switzerland, right? Okay, co-founder and the main author of the Monthly Barometer published a book called COVID-19, The Great Reset. In the book, they define the Great Reset as a means of addressing the weakness of capitalism that were uh, purportedly exposed by the COVID pandemic, the moment pandemic. Certain things you can't say. Sorry, my bad. All right, so let me finish. But the idea of the Great Reset goes back much further. It can be traced at least as far back as the inception of the WEF, the World Economic Forum, originally founded as the Management Forum in 1971. In the same year, Schwab had engineered economist by training published his first book, Modern Enterprise Management and Mechanical Engineering. Mm, 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 mm. These guys, man. Is that real or is it just something they just gave them? It was this book that Schwab first introduced the concept what later called what we later call stakeholder capitalism, arguing that the management of a modern enterprise must serve not only shareholders but all stakeholders to achieve long-term growth and prosperity. Schwab and WEF, the World Economic Forum, has promoted the idea of stakeholder capitalism ever since they can take they can take credit for the stakeholders in public-private partnership rhetoric and policies embraced by governments, corporations, non-governmental organizations, and internal governance bodies worldwide. Mm. So we're gonna read some more of this. The specific phrase "Great Reset" came into general circulation over a decade ago. Longer than that, with the population of 210 book, The Great Reset by American Urban Studies scholar Richard Florida. By American Urban Studies. Man, you talking about melanated people in the city. How's they talking about? Yeah. Who else live in urban America? Written in the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis. Florida's book argued that the 2008 economic crash was the latest in series of Great Resets, including the Long Depression of the 1870s and the Great Depression of the 1930s. Bro, they planned all this shit, which is defined as periods of paradigm shifting, systematic innovation. Bro, sis, actually, they caused all of this on purpose. I got some other paperwork. You look at my other video where I'm talking about Ryan Fumick and the 18 lawyer team that Reiner Fumick put together to go after the United States government for creating the slamdemic. Certain things we can't say on, social media. So I'm looking for something else. So I'm looking for something else. Something else I'm looking for. Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can get to it when they ain't let me get to nothing tonight. They ain't let me get to nothing, man. But I'm gonna go back to that. Y'all just chill for 1 second. I'm sorry. Give me a second. I'm trying to find something else. Ooh, I got so much fire, man. But they won't let me get to it. Wait, man. All right. So let's get back into this. This is probably gonna be a nice little process. So just fall back. So where we at? Which one was we at? In the 1830s, which defined as periods of paradigm shifting, systematic innovation. 4 years after Florida's book was published at 2014 annual meeting of the W.E.B. Schwab declared, what we want to do in Davos this year is to push the reset button. The Davos click. Yeah. Do your homework on who the Davos clique is. Find out who they are. Yeah. Crazy, boy. They terrible. And subsequently, the image of a reset button would appear on the WEF's website. In 2018 and 2019, the World Economic Forum organized two events that became the primary inspiration of the current Great Reset project. This is a project, Doug. What they're doing to us right now. It's a project. It's a project. They know that people are going to start losing it. See, I got some. You go back to that video I just told you go to about Ryan the filming talking about Moment 91. Yeah, yeah. And listen, I got to talk in code. Moment 91. I can't say certain words, so understand what I'm saying. Now, yeah, the Great Reset Project. Ooh, ooh, cold right there. Everything. I got some paperwork where they already talking about all this stuff. I got the whistleblowers admitting that it was a reset. It was a scamdemic reset. It was a slam flemic reset. You know what I'm saying? Purposely. And you see the one up here where they said they went after it was American Urban Studies who live in urban America. I mean, you got some Caucasians live in urban America too, but they don't really care about them. It's really not about uh all the time. It's not really because they're not really concerned about black and white or melanated, non-melanated. If you're talking in y'all language, they don't care because they part of the problem too. So they don't care. You know they ain't they do more drug using, shooting dope, and all kind of crazy shit. Where I'm from, the Caucasians in my neighborhood, shit, they be the ones walking around with all the fat pussy arms and uh man, just looking crazy. Yeah, they be the ones. So, not saying that we don't too, but be them too. I mean, so, and also for, excuse me, obvious reasons, fresh fodder for conspiracy theorists. Don't blame me for the latter. All I'm doing is relating the historical facts. Bro, I hear you. I feel you. You already know I hear you and feel you. Cause yeah, there is historical facts out there. If you just read enough, they did a lot of burning of the books, but they ain't burn everything. So now, slowly but surely, the more we dig, the more we find. The more we dig, the more becomes open to us, I guess. Because some pictures I didn't see years ago, but now I see them. It's like the more I look, the more is being produced, or either it was out there and I just couldn't find it. I want to go back to King George so bad. So let me see, man. See if they still messing with it. But let me see if I can get it in there. Hold up real quick. Because they know I'm going in. So see, how come I can get it? How come it's coming here? It's coming there, but it's not. See that? And it's showing that my Wi-Fi is on. See? And look. See, it's showing that my Wi-Fi is on. That. It's on. Anything is on. So why I'm having such a hard time getting these links? You know what? I'll beat their asses up with this one link. This serves too. This serves too. I'm gonna get into this some more too. Because they keep saying the Delaware Nation. Yeah. See, it was two different sets. It was two different sets of Delawares. There was like this hijack mixed Delaware Moore Indians, uh, and there was some ancient Delaware Moors. They flipped the script. I quote both of them. I'm trying to show them to y'all, but they keep doing a whole bunch of what they always do. No matter what, they always do it to you. So I ain't gonna whine about it. We still gonna work. Now, says here, in May 2018, the World Economic Forum collaborated with Johns Hopkins Center of Health Security to conduct Clad X. Now, let me back up a little bit. I gotta send a shout out and I gotta say rest in peace to Miss Henrietta Lacks. Miss Henrietta Lacks. Look up who Miss Henrietta was. Look up who she was, the real spell. You'll find out that Henrietta Lacks needs to be plastered all over Johns Hopkins because her they took a biopsy from her. They cut off a piece of her I think it was the tumor, but the way her Tom blood, that melanated Tom blood coming out of the promised land, the old world, India Superior, uh Atlantis, America, yeah, America, right? The real promised land, right? So let's finish. She had cancer. I'm gonna give you the story, but I want y'all to do your own homework on Miss Henrietta Lacks. Rest in peace, Miss Henrietta Lacks. Love you, love you. By taking a biopsy from her, she wound up passing. But they took her biopsy with some other scientific engineering and they created ways to cure different sicknesses. Yeah, 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 sure did. Cure cancer. Oh man, I think asthma. It's a whole bunch of stuff. I can't remember everything, but it's a whole bunch of stuff that that Henrietta Lacks succumbed to the cancer, but Johns Hopkins kept it and started making medicine for it. Oh man, they made so much money, and I don't even think I think the family sued him and got a little teeny bit of money, but you already know John Hopkins going to drag. You already going to drag. So in May 2018, the World Economic Forum collaborated with Johns Hopkins Center of Health Security to conduct a Claude X, a assimilation of a national pandemic response. Specifically, the exercise simulated the outbreak of a novel strand of human parainfluenza virus with genetic element of the Nipah virus called Clade X, right? The simul the simulation. Oh, sorry, shit. I'm tired, y'all. The simulation ended with a news report stated that in the face of Clade X, without effective vaccines, experts tell us that we could eventually see 30 to 40 million deaths in the US and more than 900 million around the world, 12% of the global population. Clearly, preparation for a global pandemic was in order. All right. In October 2019, the World Economic Forum, okay, something else. Okay, World Economic Forum collaborated with Johns Hopkins and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation on another pandemic exercise event 201, which simulated an international response to the outbreak of novel coronavirus. This was 2 months before the COVID outbreak in China became news, and 5 months before the World Health Organization declared it a pandemic. And closely, we know that, resembled the future COVID scenario, including incorporating the idea of, what is this? A symptomatic spread. The Clade X and Event 201 simulations. Sorry. The Cloud X and Event 201 simulations anticipated amongst every eventuality of the actual COVID crisis, most notably the response by governments, health agencies, the media, tech companies, and elements of the public. The response and their effects included worldwide lockdowns, the collapse of business and industries, the adoption of biometric surveillance technologies, an emphasis on social media censorship to combat misinformation, the flooding of social and legacy media with authoritative sources, widespread riots, and mass unemployment. We talking about, hold up, we talking about this Great Reset. This one. It was a bunch more, right? So let's go back where we were. Ooh, see, this is the part. This is the part I wanted to get to, because I knew all this stuff already. I'm just putting y'all on deep. In addition to being promoted as a response to COVID, the Great Reset is promoted as a response to climate change. In 2017, the WEF published a paper entitled "We Need to Reset the Global Operating System to Achieve the United States Sustainable Development Goals." Did you see this? Do I gotta read this again? Do I gotta read this again? Guess what? I'm gonna read it again. In addition to being promoted as a response to COVID, the Great Reset is promoted as a response to climate change. In 2017, the World Economic Forum published a paper entitled "We Need to Reset the Global Operating System to Achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals." On June the 13th, 2019, the World Economic Forum signed a Memorandum of Understanding the United States to form a partnership to advance the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Shortly after that, the World Economic published the United Nations World Economic Forum Strategic Pattern Framework for the 2030 Agenda, promising to help finance the UN's climate change agenda and committing the World Economic Forum to help the UN meet the needs of the fourth industrial revolution, including private assets and enterprise for digital governance. For digital governance. One more. Hold up, y'all. I know y'all probably a little restless, everybody tired, but man, this is good. I had a whole nother. I had other stuff, but for some reason, it ain't working, right? But we know why. But we know why. I'm gonna put y'all on some other stuff that I think they're gonna let me get to. So it says in June 2020, in its 50th annual meeting, the World Economic Forum announced the Great Reset's official launch. In June 2020, at its 50th annual meeting, the WEF announced the Great Reset's official launch. And a month later, Schwab and Malleret published their book on COVID and the Great Reset. The book declared that COVID represents an opportunity that can be seized, that we should take advantage of this unprecedented opportunity to reimagine our world, that the moment must be seized to take advantage of these unique window of opportunities, and that, or those fortunate enough to find themselves in industries naturally, right? Naturally resilient to the pandemic. Think here of big tech companies like Apple, Google, Facebook, and Amazon. The crisis was not only more bearable, but even a source of profitable opportunities at a time of distress for the majority. See, I knew all this already. The UK column put this out. Shit. I think it was probably like a month before COVID started. Look at the video I did about uh Phil McReiner putting his team together to uh go after the government for creating the scamdemic. And I got some other stuff I wanted to read y'all too. Oh, here let's read this too. So it says the Great Reset represents the development of the Chinese system in the West, but in reverse. Yo, they playing all kind of games with us, man. Whereas the Chinese political class began with a social political system and then introduced privately held for profit production. The West began with, man, all COVID did was created bit created more money for these businesses. Think about how much money hand sanitizer made. Think about how much money bleach made. Think about how much money Lysol made. Oh my goodness. Everybody's running around Lysol and everything. When that shit first hit, everybody was licensed. Everybody had 15 cans of Lysol in their car, 15 cans of Lysol in their house. They spraying the doorknobs. They spraying everything. They spraying everything. It's crazy. Introduced privately, and West began with capitalism and is now implementing a Chinese-style political system. The Chinese-style system includes vastly in, increased state intervention in the economy on the one hand, and on the other hand, the kind of authoritarian measures that the Chinese government uses to control its population. So now do you get where I'm going to all this moment 91 want nothing but a scare to drive you bananas, not being able to talk to people, not being able to conversate with people. Okay, some people lost it. Some people thought they were sick when they merely only had the flu. Okay, all I'm saying is the thing that go on your arm, the cupcake thing, that's what you need to stay away from. You see what happened to Jamie Foxx. Here's the Davos again. So what they saying about Davos? Such policies reflect the fairness aspect of the Great Reset. Fairness requires lowering the economic status of people in wealthier nations like the U.S. relative to that of the people in poor regions of the world. One of the functions of woke ideology is to make the majority in developed countries feel guilty about their wealth, which the elites aim to reset downwards. Expert one notices for the elites themselves who need to be rich in order to fly in their private jets to Davos each year. The Davos clique. Do your homework on who the Davos clique is who the Davos clique is. I don't think they're gonna give me no more, man. It's crazy. Yo, so mad, man. I'm gonna show y'all a bunch of stuff, man. What's this book talking about? Such warriors as can be spared to join the troops of the U.S. I want y'all to know about King. What was his name? King George. Yeah, I want y'all to know about King George. But I wanted y'all to see the picture that they put up for mainstream America. And then there's another picture of him melanated, just like John Adams was also a melanated man. Okay, right? The Delaware Nation. See, a lot of people don't understand what that means. The Delhi, what's the order of the day? Nationality, man. I'm sorry, I'm bad. Let me turn it away. No fault. No fault. But the Delaware Nation right here, man. So they won't let me like really go in like I really want to. Look, hey, look at this. It's crazy. It's crazy. Look at this. They won't let me get no nothing. They won't let me get all the stuff I had. Presentation. I couldn't get none of this stuff to come up. That's crazy. I can't even get this. Man, don't get discouraged. I'm gonna figure this out. Or I'm just gonna go to um like do straight on face talk and just uh write down a script, I guess, or somewhat of it. Like maybe just some topics. I'm just gonna start talking about them. I don't. They stopped my lives before, but doing this kind of stuff, man, this is dirty. Not let me be able to screen share. None of the links ain't working. It's ridiculous. And y'all see that everything is on. So they just messing with me. You know what I'm saying? They knew I was gonna go in tonight on the resets, the great resets. We're gonna do a part two. We're gonna do a part two. And this part two is just gonna be me building about what the great resets are. Alright? Before I go, I wanna give a big shout to Sid Ducateers. Right? I also want to give a big shout out to PNF. I want to give a big shout out to D Calico, Shadow Band. I want to give a shout to Crumb TV. I want to give a shout to Dr. Lee Mill Bay. I want to give a shout to Kev of Real Nagas. I forget somebody. I don't watch it about a bunch of people, man. Like I stick to the brothers I know that's teaching what we need to hear, right? Because Morocco, the empire, you're standing on it. You're standing on it. Yeah, you know, so yeah, you're standing on it. So stop tripping, connect with, with your nation, right? Which mine is Washita, Yamasee, Olmec, Mound Builder. Simple as that. I'm in the touchstone of America. Period. So, till next time, maybe I'm gonna figure something out, man. Because every time I fun. Every time I figure out a way. First, I went to this whole thing with StreamYard, where they kept shutting me off. Then I said, you know what? I'm gonna get a camera pointing at the screen. Now they won't even let me get through none of my links. Man, I'm gonna say like, share, subscribe, man. Try to get me in the algorithm. We gotta combat their bullshit. When they do this shit to us, man, we gotta send it around. Like, share, subscribe. Like, because I'm telling you, I got a bunch of information. Go to my Facebook page, right? Paris McGee Bates Jr. I ain't scared, bro. You gotta stand for something, you'll fall for anything. I stand for my babies to come generations down the line. I don't want, but I see what they trying to do. They're doing something to the kids. These cell phones is too fucking much. Sometimes set your cell phone down. Read a law book. Start learning law. Start learning the Constitution. Shout to a kid from Real Nagas for putting us on our law. So when they come at you, you know how to block, 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 block. You know how to come at them. They purging right now in Paris, France. Burning that shit down, taking everything, looting everything. It's gonna be here soon. Don't just be ready. Just be ready. Just be ready for when they purge try to come in. Just be ready. So that's it, man. Like I said, I apologize for you know you what they do. Listen, they know us. They know us priest kings that fight, that try to beat the hijack up all day long. They know who we all are. Especially me, I'm Mr. Big Mouth on all my social media shit. So yeah, but they ain't gonna beat me because I know my purpose. And my purpose is to share with the share with the ancestors need me to share. Because our ancestors have been duped. We think we from somewhere else when where we're standing is where we're from. I was gonna show you some fire tonight, boy. See, they knew it. I was sitting there prepping, getting everything together, getting all my links together, and they knocked it straight down. I can't even get on nothing. missing some trauma time. Nope. See, look, buffering for days. Nothing. Peace, man. Love y'all. Shabbat shalom. Shalom. Salam alaikum. Stay tuned for part 2, man. I'm gonna get it right. Stay tuned for part 2.